Good evening, everyone. Our ceremony will begin shortly. Please silence all electronic devices. Thank you. By shortly, I meant 4 minutes. So we don't need to stop talking just yet. By the way, I know it's a little warm up there. Thanks for being here in the upper deck. Okay.
She's supposed to be up there. That's the only
Okay, good evening, graduates, present and virtual. Our audience comprised of fellow graduates, distinguished guests, families, and friends. I'm Colonel Andy McQuaid, Dean of Students here at the Air Force Institute of Technology. I will serve as the Master of Ceremonies for this evening's commencement. Today's ceremony begins with all of our graduates seating in 4 different locations, that's right, 4 different locations and at home, throughout AFIT. We have an adjusted program plan, which will allow for students in Johnson and Bain Auditorium, as well as room 102, to fully participate. All graduates will be announced and recognized for their accomplishments as they process across the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of our stage party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. As a reminder, civilians should place their right hand over their heart when the national anthem is played, and military in uniform should stand at attention. Chaplain Rodriguez, please come to the podium to deliver the invocation.
You may join as I pray. Almighty God, we thank you for many blessings for life and liberty, for the country we live in, for the men and women of our armed forces and their families, and particularly these graduates, their instructors, and the staff who made this graduation a reality. Today we celebrate, and tomorrow is in our sights. So we ask your continued blessing for our future. For the challenges, give wisdom and creativity. For the difficulties, give strength and endurance. For the unknown, give peace and flexibility. And for all things, continue to develop character and integrity, that they may lead with honor. Your blessings we ask for these graduates and for us all. We pray all this in your holy name, and let us say, Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you to our band. Thank you to Chaplain Rodriguez. We are especially proud to have the families and friends of the graduating students with us virtually this evening. Tonight, we will be awarding 230 master's degrees and six Doctor of Philosophy degrees. One of our graduates will receive dual master's degrees. This graduating class includes 171 Air Force officers, 3 Air Force non-commissioned officers, 34 Space Force officers, 6 Army officers, 5 Marine Corps officers, and 14 civilians. 9 students have also returned from previous graduation years to participate in our event. We are also pleased to note that we have 2 graduates from Australia in our March 2021 graduating class. Now, on behalf of AFIT's Director and Chancellor, Dr. Todd Stewart, I am pleased to present the members of the stage party. Please hold your applause until all introductions have been made. Our guest of honor, General Jay Raymond, Chief of Space Operations, United States Space Force. Lieutenant General James Hecker, Commander and President of Air University. Dr. Todd Stewart, Director and Chancellor, AFIT. Dr. Heidi Reese, Chief Academic Officer, AFIT. Dr. Adeji Badiru, Dean, Graduate School of Engineer and Management. And of course, Captain Rodriguez, our chaplain. And our Grand Marshal this evening, Dr. Anthony Palazzado, Professor, Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics, Graduate School of Engineering and Management. I would also like to recognize our DVs that are here with us today. Colonel Retired Joe Zeese, Aerospace and Defense Advisor Officer of the Ohio Governor. Chief Master Sergeant Tamar Dennis, Command Chief Master Sergeant for Air University. Miss Elaine Bryant, Executive Vice President for Aerospace and Defense, Dayton Development Coalition. And finally, Colonel Robert Hutt, Senior Executive Officer to General Raymond. Now, I know there are a lot of DVs virtually in attendance, and thank you for being here with us tonight. We will feel your presence in the room, and you should be recognized for joining in with us tonight. Thank you. It is now my honor to present Dr. Todd Stewart, Director and Chancellor, Air Force Institute of Technology. You will notice Dr. Stewart is wearing a newly commissioned chain of office. For centuries, ceremonial chains of office have honored the highest officials of educational institutions. Chains of office are worn as part of the ceremony at official public celebrations of the college or university, such as the inauguration of a new president and at commencement events. Along with the academic mace, the official chain of office is highly regarded as part of the enduring legacy and permanent symbology of the institution. On the screen is the first chain of office to be worn by the civilian chancellor at AFIT. The symbology is intended to communicate AFIT's support for both the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Space Force, and AFIT's commitment to our core values of integrity, service, and excellence. The chain of office is to be presented to each new AFIT chancellor by the Air University commander and president in a formal ceremony of investiture, similar to the military assumption of the command ceremony. Over to you, Dr. Stewart.
Thank you, Colonel McQuaid. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the graduation of more than 235 of our teammates from the Air Force Institute of Technology, AFIT. The AFIT diploma each graduate will receive signifies both completion of all academic requirements for award of the degree and, equally important, demonstration of the values, character, and professional qualities that we require of all graduates from the Air Force Institute of Technology. On behalf of the entire AFIT team, our students, faculty, and staff, it is my special privilege to recognize and thank General Raymond, sir, the first Chief of Space Operations and Senior Uniformed Officer of the United States Space Force, our nation's 6th and newest military service. He graciously accepted our invitation to be this year's graduation speaker. Sir, thank you for accepting our invitation to help recognize the achievement of these graduates, both airmen and guardians, and their potential to now serve more effectively in the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Space Force throughout the balance of their careers. I also want to thank our boss, Lieutenant General James Hecker, the commander and president of Air University. Sir, thank you for your leadership and support of AFIT's mission and people, our students, our faculty and staff, and especially the graduates we recognize today. We'll have the opportunity to hear directly from General Hecker in a few moments. I want to thank Colonel Pat Miller, the Wright-Patterson Installation Commander. We simply could not accomplish our mission here without the great support the Institute, our people, and their families receive from the 88th Air Base Wing every day. I also want to thank those special guests who have accepted our invitation to witness this graduation ceremony virtually. And among those viewing the ceremony tonight are a number of parents and grandparents of our graduates who are veterans of Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf Wars, and more recently, our operations in Iraq, Somalia, and Afghanistan. On behalf of all of my teammates here at AFIT, I offer a very proud salute for your service to our country in support of our graduates. I also want to take a minute to thank some very important people who made this year's graduation possible. First, our distinguished faculty, who by their dedication and expertise helped guide our graduates in their important work. The academic leadership team, our deans, department heads, who provided the vision, direction, and support necessary to deliver the unique academic and professional development opportunities that AFIT offers in support of the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Space Force and our Department of Defense. The fellow students of our graduates who function as important teammates and wingmen, supporting and encouraging our graduates in their studies and their research. The family members and friends of our graduates who, by their support and encouragement, enabled our graduates to persevere and complete rigorous and challenging academic program despite the additional challenges presented by the pandemic. Our great AFIT staff, who did all the hard administrative work necessary to make this graduation ceremony possible and to assist our graduates and their families in the transition to their next assignment under some extraordinary circumstances. And most importantly, I want to thank the graduates for making the commitment, investing the effort necessary to develop themselves professionally and personally by completing their studies at AFIT to prepare themselves to help our Air Force and Space Force meet the challenges and opportunities they face today and will certainly face in the future. Thank you all very, very much. This year's graduation is unique for a number of reasons. Obviously, it's unique and because of the unfortunate circumstances challenging our nation and the world today, and precludes us from holding our graduation ceremony at the Air Force Museum, as has been our long-standing tradition. But it also provides us with the opportunity to practice what we teach, staying focused on accomplishing the mission while having the agility to adapt to changing and unforeseen conditions. It's also unique in that this year's graduation ceremony is the first one in AFIT's second century of education excellence. All of our graduates, I think, were here to witness AFIT's centennial in November of 2019. And finally, I think most importantly, I would note that it's the first graduation in which our graduates will have the opportunity to serve in both the United States Air Force and, for some of you, United States Space Force. Now, I would note that earlier this week, we had the opportunity to host a brief visit by the Honorable John Roth, the Acting Secretary of the Air Force. Secretary Roth has graciously provided some recorded remarks that I would like to share with our graduates at this point. Please play the Secretary's recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to join you. Today is certainly a moment for celebration. Graduates, you have been given a rare opportunity for professional development, an opportunity afforded to less than 0.5% of our total force. Yesterday, you were one of over 3 million post-baccalaureate students in our country. Today, you join the ranks of more than 20,000 AFIT graduates. More importantly, in a few moments, you will walk across the stage as one of over 250 AFIT graduates of the class of 2021. Congratulations. Graduates, as you relish in this moment, be proud. Benjamin Franklin once said, "If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it away from him." An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. As a career comptroller, I can tell you, he was right. Education certainly pays the best interest, but it is up to you to invest. Going forward, I encourage you to take what you have learned, combing over thousands of pages, hundreds of studies, countless papers, and focus on 3 areas: inspire, inquire, and take initiative. First, harness the knowledge you gleaned throughout your tenure at AFIT and use that to lead, to inspire, be a role model, and take that role seriously. Leaders set the course, and leaders inspire others to follow. Second, inquire, because your education does not stop once you walk across this stage. Leaders ask questions. Good leaders study problems, and great leaders seek to sharpen their minds. Finally, take initiative. You have likely heard the saying, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste." Indeed it is. Remember, As graduates, you represent a joint collective expertise. You are airmen, guardians, soldiers, Marines, and civilians, and now you'll be viewed as experts in your career field. So maximize those opportunities to seek and make positive change. Take initiative. Congratulations, graduates. You have much to be proud of.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. And now, before I introduce General Hecker, I want to offer just a few of my own thoughts to our graduates. Graduates, today you will join a long blue line of more than 20,000 other defense professionals who've earned a degree from AFIT. I hope you'll take great pride in that degree and share that pride with others when you tell them that you did your graduate work at AFIT. I think you'll find that your degree from AFIT is especially well respected by your teammates in the Air and Space Forces, by those in the other military services, and I can assure you, by scholars in other military and civilian academic institutions. Your AFIT degree will give you initial credibility with others, but will also establish some very high expectations of your ability to use what you've learned here to help solve some of the tough challenges facing our Air and Space Forces today and in the future. What's truly important is not what you've learned here, but what you do with what you've learned here through the balance of your careers. Your effectiveness in applying what you've learned will reflect on both you and on AFIT. And I am confident that your AFIT graduate program has prepared you very well to make important contributions to our Air and Space Forces and their partners, the other services, the joint commands, defense agencies, our alliance partners, and ultimately to our nation's security. The true measure of AFIT's mission success and its effectiveness is what you contribute to our Air and Space Forces when you leave here and for the balance of your careers. For most of you, the degree you will shortly receive certifies you as a Master of Science. Most importantly, that means you've mastered the application of the method of science to making decisions and innovatively solving problems that are complex, uncertain, and risky. If we've done our job well, we've taught you how to think more critically, logically, holistically, clearly, and systematically, how to actually do science in solving problems and making decisions. Hopefully, we have taught you also and inspired you to think more broadly, creatively, and innovatively, to take lessons and insights from the humanities, the arts, business, social and political sciences to inform our physical science, technology, and engineering. And if we've done our job really well, we've also taught you to aggressively challenge conventional thinking, routine assumptions, and familiar strategies to innovatively solve the problems we face today and will likely face in the future. Doing so will make us less predictable and therefore a more effective deterrent force, and if necessary, a more ready and lethal force. As the national security and defense strategies emphasize, we can't maintain our competitive advantage over nation-state adversaries by outspending them. We've got to out-innovate them. That's the new battlefield. That's AFIT's challenge to teach, and as AFIT graduates, it's your challenge to do. While we are highly regarded as an institute of technology in the broader academic community, we are the Department of the Air Force's Institute of Technology. In effect, the Aerospace Forces Institute of Technology. We focus on the application of technology to the challenges and opportunities facing both our Air and Space Forces. To do that effectively, you need to not only master the technology, you also need to master the military doctrine, strategy, and operations. And today, that means joint combined coalition operations, all domain operations. You need to complement your advanced academic technical education with professional military education, as is offered by the university's other schools, for example, Squadron Officer School, Command and Staff College, the Air War College, and its School of Advanced Air and Space Studies. Finally, I want to conclude my remarks with a message to our military airmen and guardians, and in particular to the lieutenants, for whom AFIT is your first active duty assignment following your commissioning. While at AFIT, you were focused primarily on a particular academic discipline, electrical engineering, aeronautical engineering, logistics, operations research, whatever. That academic discipline was typically influenced largely by the primary Air Force specialties to which you've been assigned. But your specialty or functional tribal affiliation signified by the badge on your uniform is not your profession. Your profession is being an Air Force or Space Force officer, and that's signified by the rank on your shoulders. Your profession is officership, regardless of functional specialties in which you're initially practicing that profession. Know the difference, live the difference. It is now my special privilege to introduce Lieutenant General James Hecker, the Air University Commander and President, our boss. In that role, he leads the Air University team in providing the full spectrum of Air Force education, professional military education, professional continuing education, and of course, the advanced academic education that we celebrate today. Every year under his leadership, Air University graduates more than 50,000 resident students and 120,000 non-resident officers enlisted and civilian. General Hecker earned a bachelor's degree and was commissioned from the Air Force Academy. He is both a graduate and instructor at the Air Force Weapons Instructor Course, and in his more than 30 years of distinguished service, he's had 23 assignments, including 3 joint assignments, and has commanded at the squadron, group, wing, and numbered Air Force levels. General Hecker is a command pilot with more than 3,500 flying hours in 6 different aircraft, including combat missions in 4 different operations. Please help me welcome back to AFIT the Air University Commander and President, Lieutenant General James Hecker. Sir?
Well, thank you, Dr. Stewart, for letting me address the graduates. But before I do that, we have a person that has spent his whole life serving people. He spent 34 years serving in the Air Force, then 10 years in civilian institutions, and then retires in 6 days after spending 9 years here at AFIT. And that's your Chancellor, Dr. Stewart. How about a round of applause for him? During your time here, you've obviously left your mark, and you became a good friend, and we've only been together for about 18 months, but I know we'll keep in touch. But thank you for everything that you've done for AFIT and the United States Air Force. To the family and friends, unfortunately, we're still doing the COVID Act. We wish that you were here, seated with us today, but those of you on virtual world, you should be proud of these graduates, and I know you are, and I know you'll probably call them tonight if you're not here in person, and tell them how proud you are. But you should be, because they just went through a very tough academic year and a half. And then for our doctors, a lot longer than that. To the faculty, this wouldn't have been possible if you didn't pour your heart and soul into these students. And for the students, make sure that you tell the faculty thank you. They don't get that enough. And the work that they do to get your minds enriched as you leave out of here to be successful, you can't imagine what they do to make that happen. And I definitely appreciate the deans and the CAO for everything that you've done for this group of students here. Lastly, congratulations to the students. As Dr. Stewart mentioned, you'll be known as AFIT graduates now. There's only a small fraction of our Air and Space Force that can say that they are AFIT graduates. And that means something. Now when your records go in front of a board and you're meeting them against your peers, that gives you an extra half point or so, just because it says AFIT graduate. Because you've already made a cut. You made a cut to come to a premier institution like we have here at AFIT. But with that, as Dr. Stewart also mentioned, comes an expectation. Make sure that you always know that people look at you differently because you're an AFIT graduate. Think twice before you do something. Make sure you do it right. Be the person that the commander goes to when they have a hard job to get done, because that's going to be the expectation. And guess what? You'll deliver because of the faculty that taught you and everything that you've learned here. You are prepared to meet that challenge. Okay, enough of me. We got a great guest of honor here today. Chief Raymond, when you look out in the audience, I kind of see a lot of space out here. Because of this social distancing, General Raymond's all about space. Who would have thought after 4 years of becoming the CSO, you could have space between everyone in the world? That was some pretty good work. I first met General Raymond when he was a 1-star, I was an 06, and we were at Yokota Air Base, Japan. What a great man. What a great family. And the perfect choice to be our #1 Chief of Space Operations. And a perfect choice to be our guest speaker tonight. General Raymond, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Good night? Excitement? Roughly 16 years after he left the Air Corps Engineering School, and just months before Sputnik launched, space pioneer General Bernard Schriever boldly declared, I quote, "In the long haul, our safety as a nation may depend on achieving space superiority." Schriever, a technological visionary and architect of the Air Force's space and missile programs, would also go on to offer that the people who produce progress are a breed apart. They have the imagination, the courage, and the persistence to find solutions. Every time I come to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and to Dayton, I am energized by the imagination, the courage, and the persistence embodied by the people who advance our Air and Space Force's technological edge. Today is no different. I'm energized and excited for the tech-savvy and future-focused innovators that are before us this evening. These soon-to-be graduates will chart the future of our Department of Defense. So last year, I was invited to be the graduation speaker for AFIT, but unfortunately, due to COVID, couldn't have a graduation ceremony, couldn't be here in person, and so I did a video that went on a screen. I'll tell you, it is so good to be here tonight, and I really appreciate it. I think in my videotape last year, I said, I hate doing videotapes, but if you'd invite me back, I'll be there next year, and it's really, really something for me to be here. And again, I want to thank you very much for the invitation. I was ready to come back, and I'm really excited to join all of our graduates. So General Hecker, thank you for the kind introduction and for your leadership at Air University. I did, as General Hecker said, we had the privilege of serving together in Japan. And one of the things that struck me when General Hecker was talking, where he talked about be the person that your bosses turn to for the hard jobs. We were in Japan at a really hard time. It's almost 10 years ago, a couple weeks ago. And Japan had a big earthquake and a tsunami and a nuclear reactor disaster. And this gentleman was the J3 of U.S. Forces Japan. And I will tell you, from my perspective, was the hero of the day for the Air Forces and Joint Forces of the United States that were working to support Japan in a really, really tough time. I learned a lot from you and your leadership, and it's great to be here with you tonight. Dr. Stewart, I understand, as General Hecker said, that you are in short final to ending a career. I want to personally thank you for your humble and steadfast leadership across an incredibly impactful and distinguished career. 34 years of service to the Air Force. You've led research and education related to national security at Ohio State and Michigan Technological University. You served on the National Security Education Board and on the Air Force Scientific Advisory Board. And as Chancellor and Director at AFIT, you close a remarkable career completing one of our most important tasks as leaders, and that's preparing the next generation to overcome the challenges that they will face. So my hat's off to you, sir, and thank you very much for your years of dedicated service. And most importantly, thanks for inviting me back this year. To the graduates, I'm honored, proud, and humbled to be with you today, celebrating a very significant accomplishment in your career. The Air Force Institute of Technology is the means for the Department of the Air Force to expand the technological supremacy of the nation's air, space, and cyberspace forces. For more than a century, AFIT and its predecessor organizations have delivered a world-class education to hundreds of thousands of defense professionals. During your time here, the faculty, your classmates, and the curriculum have opened the doors to ideas and concepts you hadn't explored, perspectives you may have lacked, new ways of looking at our nation's toughest technological challenges. So to AFIT's faculty and staff, thank you. Together, you form the cornerstone of this institution. And I'd ask each one of you in the class that are getting ready to graduate, before you get consumed by your next move, your next job, or the next things on a long list of to-do, to take time to show your gratitude to the folks that have worked so hard to help you get to where you are this evening. Over the last year, your classmates have also left an enduring impression on you. Soldiers, Marines, airmen, guardians, DoD civilians, and defense contractors from across the government, and 2 students from Australia who exemplifies our country's 100+ year tradition of partnership. I know for a fact their perspective and their experiences enriched your education while you were here at AFIT. And experience tells me that those students will go back and become senior leaders in their respective organizations. Finally, the curriculum here is world class, and I had an opportunity today to spend time getting a deep dive in various parts of your curriculum. AFIT is widely known and respected as a premier institution for defense-focused education, research, and innovation. The faculty develops leaders who are ready to inspire our teams to overcome the nation's most pressing security challenges. The school is the force behind the Department of the Air Force's ability to move with speed, to restore our readiness, modernization, and to innovate faster than our competitors, all critical to carrying out the requirements of the National Defense Strategy. Finally, there's one more group I'd like to recognize, and that's the many family members that are watching here today. I sure wish you were here in person, and I know you do as well. And so to the proud spouses, sons, daughters, mothers, and fathers, and others, thank you. Thank you for supporting your students. No one gets through a military career, and nobody gets through AFIT on their own. These graduates couldn't serve or lead effectively without your support, and we are grateful. So, to the graduates, if you're as smart as we think you are after graduating tonight, then I would encourage you to go home and tell your loved ones thank you. The AFIT education is significant, but as Dr. Stewart said, it's what graduates do with that education that's the most significant and provides our nation incredible value. It's what graduates do after you leave Dayton that makes AFIT a national treasure. General James Jimmy Doolittle graduated from AFIT in AFIT's 4th class as a lieutenant in 1923. As a lieutenant colonel, he used his imagination to devise the United States response to an attack on Pearl Harbor. At the time, standard naval planes had too short of a range. Reaching their targets would force aircraft carriers to sail dangerously close to the Japan's well-defended coastline. Instead, Doolittle and his raiders stripped everything non-essential from 16 B-25 bombers and boldly launched from an aircraft carrier 650 miles off the coast of Japan on a one-way mission. The successful raid on Tokyo was a boost to American morale at a low point in the war. Across the 1960s, several courageous AFIT alumni went into space, as part of the Gemini and Apollo missions. Gus Grissom, Gordon Cooper, Buzz Aldrin, and others boldly navigated our country's transition from a space-aspiring nation to a space-faring nation. 22 years after the United States sent its first astronaut into orbit, AFIT grad and Air Force Colonel Guian Bluford became the first African-American astronaut to go to space. He described himself as an average guy, but he had uncommon persistence and grit. Nothing kept Guy from pursuing his goals. He overcame struggles in high school and the opinions of a counselor who thought he wasn't equipped for college. However, his hard work got him into Penn State. He flew combat missions over North Vietnam and earned multiple degrees and a doctorate. He had an unstoppable mindset. He wouldn't let his educators, counselors, or organizations determine what he could or couldn't do. Across history, AFIT grads have had the imagination, the courage, and the persistence to produce incredible progress. Interestingly, one of the best-known laws of military art was also coined by an AFIT grad, Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Was the first articulated by Captain Edward Murphy, and it still encourages military leaders at all echelons to plan and prepare for our nation's worst days. Today, as was mentioned earlier, we are operating in an extremely complex security environment, probably the most complex security environment since the end of the Cold War for sure. There's a lot that can go wrong, and there's many, many challenges that lie ahead. Now, more than ever before, we need technically minded joint warfighters who are ready to meet the challenges of our time. And here you are, returning from academia to turn those challenges into opportunities, to prepare the joint force for war so that we can keep the great power of peace. In a future war, we cannot assume we will have the benefits of time or space. In future war, we cannot assume that we will have the benefits of time or space. Warfare will be global. It will be multi-domain. It'll span multiple threat vectors: land, sea, air, space, cyberspace, and the electromagnetic spectrum. It will transcend AORs, and it won't be contained to an area with lines on a map. Modern wars will be fast-paced, accelerated by connectivity, information, and data technology. The future of combat operations will be characterized by speed and precision over vast distances. Let me use space as an example. If you look at the AOR that's assigned to the United States Space Command and that they're charged to protect and defend, that AOR is 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface and higher, globally. And even the vastness of space doesn't buy us time. Counter-space weapons are fast. Anti-satellite missiles that can launch from the ground can destroy satellites in low Earth orbit in a matter of minutes. Jammers move energy at the speed of light and can deny the joint force the ability to communicate across the globe. And our strategic competitors have weapon systems on orbit today that are designed to kill American satellites. While I have no doubt that our joint and coalition forces are the envy of the world, our advantage, our superiority is diminishing. And parity undermines global stability. As a military, we cannot afford to cede our technological advantage. We must rapidly evolve to stay ahead of that growing threat. The Space Force is a reflection of that. The nation is adapting rapidly in the space domain. Our leaders across government have aligned strategy, policy, and law towards generating space power across the diplomatic, information, military, economic, and instruments of power. NASA's Perseverance rover is demonstrating technology for future robotic and human exploration on Mars. It's a really bad way to describe it, but we're witnessing an innovation explosion in the commercial space business. That commercial sector will provide us a national advantage. But space is just one example. The rapidly changing character of war offers no shortage of opportunities to transform the services, the Department of Defense, and the nation at large. In the Army, Future Command is leading the transformational modernization of our ground forces. The Marine Corps is prioritizing modernization over force structure because Marines need cutting-edge technology to survive in contested maritime spaces. And the Air Force knows it must accelerate change or it will struggle to achieve air superiority against peer competitors. The Department of Defense is prime for rapid innovation, transformation, and it is you who will inspire and lead that change. There's no better moment than now, and no one better than you to lead that effort. AFIT, its curriculum, faculty, and your classmates have given you a world-class education. All of you are cut from the same cloth as General Shrevers, Doolittle, Bluford, and a long line of AFIT grads. I know you are ready. Imagination, courage, persistence fills this auditorium this evening. Representing the imagination that exists in our Department of the Air Force is Captain Britta Jermo Morrison, United States Air Force, and First Lieutenant Hannah Jermo Chomitz, United States Space Force. Two sisters, reunited at AFIT, whose research will improve the Air Force's weather enterprise and the probability of detection of radars across our air and space forces. Major Michael Sherman, he had the courage to come to AFIT later in his career than most. Before coming, he was told that AFIT would probably be a waste of his time based on where he was in his career. But Mike understood that Space Force's urgent need for operators who understand orbital warfare tactics at a deep and technical level. So he came anyway, and he brought a fresh perspective to the school. Army Major Joshua Fry demonstrated persistence and uncommon grit while at AFIT, working hard, going above and beyond the standard curriculum to earn 2 master's degrees, one in material science and one in nuclear engineering. Those are just 3 examples, and I know there are many more in this room. You all are ready for the adventure that lies ahead. In front of the AFIT complex stands a 22-foot statue of Icarus. The memorial honors AFIT graduates who gave their lives in service of our nation. And the more I think about it, the memorial is very fitting. Imprisoned together in the labyrinth on the Isle of Crete, Icarus earned his freedom, leaving courageously on wings fashioned from feathers and from wax. But as you know, Icarus flew too close to the sun. The wax melted and he fell to his death in the Aegean Sea. Like them, you know our freedom is not a birthright. It must be earned. Furthermore, you know that imagination, courage, and persistence lines the path of progress. As each of you walk across the stage and depart this evening, I urge you to employ what you've learned here. I urge you to be fearless like Icarus. To paraphrase Oscar Wilde, don't fear the fall. The greater tragedy is never feeling the burning light. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fall short. Be courageous like General Doolittle. Trust yourself and trust what you've learned. You're all ready, and all of you are good enough to do great things in defense of our freedom. Thank you again for the honor of joining you tonight. Congratulations on the completion of your studies at this renowned institution. And I thank you for your service, and I look forward to the opportunity to serve with each and every one of you in the years ahead. Thank you and congratulations.
Sir, one more thing. On behalf of the AFIT students and faculty, we have a small gift that we'd like to give you. It's a picture of your guardians that graduated from this class.
Cool.
And they're appropriately in the Delta formation.
Very cool. That's all.
Here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. General Raymond, General Hecker, Dr. Stewart, thanks for your comments. Now on to the fun part, right? Where we get to recognize and award some degrees. Dr. Badiro, Dr. Reese, please present the candidates for degree.
Will the candidates for graduation from the Graduate School of Engineering and Management please rise and remain standing. Chancellor Stewart and Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Reese, I have the honor of presenting these candidates who have completed all requirements for graduation in accordance with the recommendations of the Academic Standards Committee and the Faculty Council of the Graduate School of Engineering and Management. I present these candidates for conferral of degrees and award of diplomas.
Thank you, Dr. Badiru. Lieutenant General Hecker, as Chief Academic Officer of the Air Force Institute of Technology, I confirm that the candidates presented by the Dean of the Graduate School of Engineering and Management have met all academic requirements of the Air Force Institute of Technology for award of their respective degrees. In addition to confirming their record of academic achievement, I also affirm these candidates have demonstrated the virtues of integrity, character, and commitment to service required of all graduates of the Air Force Institute of Technology. I therefore recommend these candidates for conferral of degrees and award of diplomas.
I think I'm the only one standing between you and graduating. Thank you, Dr. Reese. Then, based on the presentation of these students by the Dean of the Graduate School of Engineering and Management and the confirmation and recommendation of the Chief Academic Officer, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the President and Commander of Air University and by federal law, degrees are hereby conferred. Graduates, you may be seated. General Raymond and Dr. Stewart, please join me on stage to congratulate AFIT's newest graduates.
Okay. Each student, please step forward as your name is called. Please allow for the names of any students not present to be called before you process. And also, since we are in the COVID environment, I would remind you, please stick to the elbow bump. That's our protocol for the rest of the ceremony. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. First, Department of Engineering Physics, Master of Science, Applied Physics, Captain Tyler Brewer. Yeah, there we go. Captain Derek Buckley. First Lieutenant Rodney A. Carmona, Jr. Captain Blake Galloway. Captain Seth Garland. Also one of our distinguished graduates. Joining us virtually, Captain Simon R. Hanks. Captain Alexander N. Holstead. Mr. Matthew Husk. First Lieutenant Brian Kay. Congratulations. First Lieutenant John Wynn. First Lieutenant Michael G. Reinders. Second Lieutenant Adrian Sheepi. First Lieutenant Ann Workley. Now our Master of Science, Atmospheric Sciences, Captain Stuart Almeida. Captain Britta Jermo Morrison. First Lieutenant Seth Powers. Congratulations. Captain Andrew Connor Siebels. Now for our Masters of Science in Nuclear Engineering. First Lieutenant Stephen H. Baxter. Also the winner of the American Nuclear Society Thesis Award. Second Lieutenant Marcus William Brinker. Captain Sean Fitzpatrick, United States Army. Major Joshua D. Fry, United States Army, also awarded a Master of Science in Material Sciences. Major Aaron Heffelfinger, United States Army. First Lieutenant Zachary William Lemire. Also, Tau Beta Pi Thesis Award, Dean's Award, and Distinguished Graduate. Congratulations. Captain Jason Seek. Captain James Stoffel, Dean's Award, and also a Distinguished Graduate. For Master of Sciences in Optical Sciences and Engineering, Mr. Timothy True. Now to Department of Operational Sciences. Unable to join us tonight for a Master of Science in Logistics, Mr. Joshua D. Meyer. Mr. Francis Earl Rupert. Mr. Philip G. Wiebold. Now to Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Captain Scott Orr. Excuse me, Scott Carr. Captain Megan Crandall. Captain Ewan Guyton. Captain Hunter Kalin. Captain David Edward Porte. Captain John Eric Richard. Captain David Wallace. Now for our Master of Sciences in Ops Research. Push it up, 15 alphas. Captain Justin Anderson. Also the recipient of the Dr. George S. Patnell Military and Security Research Award. Not able to join us tonight, but joining virtually, Captain Jessica Astudillo. Also joining us virtually tonight, Captain Jeremiah P. Bill. Captain Zachary Earl Butcher. Captain Matthew Kornman. Captain James Crumpacker. Also the recipient of the Dean's Award, the Chancellor's Award, and a DG. First Lieutenant Nathaniel Denny. Captain Stephen D. Donnell. First Lieutenant Alex Gaines. Major John C. Goodwill, United States Army. Second Lieutenant Emily Siobhan Graves. Miss Julia M. Haynes. Captain Donald Hale. Captain Kimberly G. Holland. Captain Benjamin Huffman. Lieutenant Colonel Joseph M. Lyles. Recipient of the Dean's Award and also a distinguished graduate. Second Lieutenant Michelle McGee. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Alexander Pollock. Second Lieutenant Matthew E. Scherer. Major Camaro Song, United States Army. Also the recipient of the Jerome G. Peppers Jr. Outstanding Student Award. Second Lieutenant Emmy Sweezy. Captain Eric Teo. Captain Julius C. Walker. Captain Andrew Wilson, United States Army. Captain William F. Wilson, Jr. Also the winner of the Dr. James T. Moore Graduate Research Prize. Captain Kylie Wooten. Okay, on to the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Master of Science in Computer Engineering, Captain Kyle David Hintz. First Lieutenant Robert William Rogers Mellish, United States Space Force. Second Lieutenant Ryan Michael Raddick, United States Space Force. Also a distinguished graduate. Second Lieutenant Dylan Noah Trihorn. Now for the Master of Science in Computer Science. First Lieutenant Mark N. Adams. First Lieutenant Ricky Anderson. Second Lieutenant Claire Badger, United States Space Force. Mr. John Beatley. Second Lieutenant Vincent Joseph Bounds. Second Lieutenant Brian Dennis Coran, Jr. Second Lieutenant Mark A. Demore, II, United States Space Force. Captain Matthew Eilertson. Second Lieutenant James Reed Elkins. Second Lieutenant Brennan Garland. Second Lieutenant Joshua D. Larson. Captain Ryan Montri Nortia. Technical Sergeant Danielle Emmanuel Oak. Captain Connor Pippin. Captain Graham M. Roberts. Captain Luis Enrique Sepulveda. Also in the United States Space Force. Captain Joshua White. Second Lieutenant Robert Wilborn. Second Lieutenant Chad Willis. Now for the Master of Science in Cyber Operations, Master Sergeant Arvind Bada. Also the recipient of the Cyberspace Research Award, the Secretary James G. Roach Award, and a distinguished graduate. With a 4.0, I might add. Second Lieutenant Ryan M. Beatty. Captain Khalid Busrawi. Captain Brenna R. Cole. Also the recipient of the Dean's Award and a distinguished graduate. Captain Justin M. Durham. Captain John Wayne Hanna. also a distinguished graduate. Captain Stephanie L. Long. Captain Anjali Morales. Now for our Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, First Lieutenant Destiny Navette Battle. Mr. Kevin Michael Chandler. Captain Henry Cho, also in the United States Space Force. Joining us virtually, Captain Daniel J. Clark. First Lieutenant Benjamin William Davis, United States Space Force. Captain William Taylor DeBerry. First Lieutenant Israel Dunk, Royal Australian Air Force, the recipient of the Air University Certificate and Badge. Captain Jordan E. Eldridge. Second Lieutenant Kyle A. Emery. Captain Sean Feschek. Captain Stephen Alexander Frank. First Lieutenant Noah W. Furries. First Lieutenant Hannah Jermo Shomitz, United States Space Force. Also, the Advanced Technical Intelligence Association Outstanding Student, the Mervyn E. Gross Award recipient, the Dean's Award, and a distinguished graduate. Captain Grant Groutman. First Lieutenant Yaluli T. Grodner. First Lieutenant Zachary Robert Hewitt, United States Space Force. Captain Tyler Benjamin Hussey. Captain Ethan W. Joaquin. Second Lieutenant Natalie Monique Kettner. First Lieutenant Justin Lee, United States Space Force. First Lieutenant Colton X. L. Mott. Major Adam Daniel Murphy. First Lieutenant Austin R. Nathaniel, United States Space Force. Second Lieutenant Connor Paul. Captain Christian Potts. First Lieutenant Mitchell Lee Rudy. First Lieutenant John F. Stater. Captain Shorshan Sunlatharalingham, Royal Australian Air Force. Also the recipient of the National Measurement and Signature Intelligence Committee Academic Excellence Award and the Air University Certificate and Badge. Captain Justin Toulis. Attending virtually, Captain Ryan P. Wilkerson. Captain Brian M. Wright. Captain Rick Yun, United States Space Force. Now our Master of Sciences in Electrical Engineering, Captain Aubrey Lawrence Olson. Captain Caitlin T. Poole. Now our Department of Mathematics and Statistics, the Master of Science in Applied Mathematics, Second Lieutenant Jeremiah Stephen Lane. Also the recipient of the International Society for Optics and Photonics Best Light-Based Thesis Award and a distinguished graduate. Captain Aaron Ray Wing. I'll now transition to Colonel Fee.
Thank you, Colonel. We on yet? Okay, thank you, Colonel McQuaid. From the Department of Systems Engineering and Management, Master of Engineering and Applied Systems Engineering, Captain Lauren Brooks Quainan. Mr. Reuben James Patton. Master of Engineering and Applied Systems Engineering, Captain Raza Alas. Captain Alex Winton Arlant. Captain Isaiah Bragg. Captain Robert J. Klein. Mr. Michael William Cutter. Captain John C. Jaza. Captain Robert D. Rogers. And finally, Captain Tony H. Zilli. And now the Master of Science in Cost Analysis, First Lieutenant Evan Amato. First Lieutenant Christopher Bissing. Captain Christian G. Erneston. First Lieutenant Karina Marie Fernando. First Lieutenant James Golgen. Also the winner of the International Cost Estimating and Analysis Association Thesis Award and distinguished graduate. First Lieutenant Alexander David Pollock. Captain Joshua Reese. First Lieutenant Colin M. Sander. First Lieutenant Cameron Robert Amon Scott. First Lieutenant Erwin A. Spencer, Jr. Captain Tin Tron. First Lieutenant Trevor Voilette. And now a Master of Science in Engineering Management degree. Second Lieutenant Kuwauri Andres Adams. First Lieutenant Christopher Anagdias Amadio. Captain Alexander J. Baldwin. Captain Sarah Lynn Brown. Winner of the George K. Dimitrioff Award. I'm a slow learner, but I realize in blue means they're attending virtually. Attending virtually tonight is Captain Joseph Chapman. First Lieutenant Kelsey Lee Crouch. First Lieutenant Stephen Michael Cunningham, U.S. Space Force. Dean's Award and Distinguished Graduate. Captain Devin M. DePalmer. Ivan B. Thompson Award. Captain Tyler Andrew Ferry. Captain Evan Michael Fortney. Also winner of the Lewis F. Polk Award. Captain Kenneth Andrew Neal. Captain Matthew Ryan Nicholson. Winner of the Dr. Anthony D'Angelo Student Leadership Award and also Society of American Military Engineers Award. Captain Jared Pilcher, U.S. Space Force. Captain John D. Pollock. Captain Daniel Ress. Captain Kyle Joseph Rodriguez. Second Lieutenant Tyler Scott Stout. First Lieutenant Scott C. Weiss, distinguished graduate. Captain Lewis J. Zib III. Next is Master of Science in Engineering Management, Captain Carlos A. Esquera. Winner of the Martin D. Martin and Dr. James Adams Award. Mr. Kurt R. Lamb. Master Sergeant Vincent Frank Olshavy III. Attending virtually tonight, Captain Caitlin E. Ryan. Captain William David Sousa, U.S. Space Force. First Lieutenant Adam Bradford Teston. And now the Master of Science in Environmental Engineering and Science, Major David John Sherman, U.S. Marine Corps. Captain Troy McDonald Searcy, U.S. Marine Corps. Winner of a Dean's Award and also distinguished graduate. Attending virtually tonight, Captain Jacob Galen Spaulding. Master of Science in Environmental Engineering and Science, Major Jeffrey P. Hart, U.S. Marine Corps. Attending virtually tonight, Miss Megan Catherine Shade. Now the Master of Science in Systems Engineering, Second Lieutenant Brenton M. Bethel. Captain Kyla Brown, U.S. Space Force. Captain Foster Davis, U.S. Space Force. Second Lieutenant Eugene J. Dineza II. Second Lieutenant Michaela Dela DeMappy. Captain Benjamin Donahoe, U.S. Space Force. Captain Keith Dreyer, U.S. Space Force. Captain David J. Fiabus. Captain Ethan Gaston. Captain Tommy Hernandez. Attending virtually tonight is Captain Danielle Herrera Ramirez. Mr. Mark W. Casson. Captain Sean Kelly, U.S. Space Force. Captain Jeffrey C. King. Captain Dalton Miller. Captain Justin Ryan Miller. Second Lieutenant Jordan Emma Peterson, distinguished graduate. Captain Clayton Wilson. From the Department of Aeronautics and Astronautics, the Master of Science in Aeronautical Engineering, First Lieutenant Alexander Jason Brown. Second Lieutenant Anthony Cabri. Captain Joshua Senan Embrador. Captain Christopher Fazio. Captain Evan Glawick. Captain Paul Grossi, U.S. Space Force. Second Lieutenant Andre Lisak, distinguished graduate. Second Lieutenant Kylie Morgan Nelson. Captain Jacob Olson, U.S. Space Force. Captain Torrin Cade Quick. Captain Patrick Hamil Silderberg, U.S. Marine Corps. Captain Luke M. Steinberg. Captain Nathan L. Tedder. Captain Jake Wilstotter. Now the degree that General Raymond's been waiting to hear about, the Master of Science in Astronautical Engineering. First Lieutenant Cecilia, I'm going to get this, Cecily Agu. All right, U.S. Space Force. Captain Lane Barrett. AIAA Graduate Student Award for Service Excellence winner. Mr. Justin Albert Becker. Mr. Nathan R. Boone. Second Lieutenant Nathaniel Allen Enders, U.S. Space Force, distinguished graduate. Mr. Taylor John Foy. Captain Connor Dean Garcia Gurley, U.S. Space Force. Attending virtually tonight, Mr. Jonathan K. Alston. Second Lieutenant Devin E. Saunders, U.S. Space Force. Captain Daniel Salvatore Scala, U.S. Space Force. The Master of Science, Material Science, Second Lieutenant Benjamin Lamb. Captain Richard Reinick. Master of Science in Space Systems, Captain Joseph Glenn Bacon, Jr., U.S. Space Force. Captain Stephen Thomas Bednarski, U.S. Space Force. Captain Renelle Vivian Cavett. Cavett. Captain Jessica L. Horn, Distinguished Graduate. Captain Carl Poole, U.S. Space Force. Captain. Major Michael J. Sherman, U.S. Space Force Dean's Award. Captain Michael Telside, U.S. Space Force. It's not up there, but he told me he was. Major Matthew D. Whitaker, U.S. Space Force.
Dr. Philosophy Awards will now be awarded now. Dissertation title, Design and Analysis of Air Stiffened Vacuum Lighter Than Air Structures by Captain Ruben Adorno Rodriguez. Advisor, Dr. Anthony Palazzato. Dissertation title, Techniques, Analysis, and Calibration Standards for High-Energy Laser Sensors in Support of High-Energy Laser Field Test Minimum Collection Requirements by Lieutenant Colonel James C. Bowers. Advisor, Dr. David E. Weeks. Dissertation title, Experimental and Computational Analysis of Progressive Failure in Bolted Hybrid Composite Joints by Major John Shipley Brewer, Jr. Advisor, Dr. Anthony Palazzato. Dissertation title, Computational Electromagnetic Modeling of Metasurface Optical Devices with Defect Study by Captain Carlos Diaz. Advisor, Dr. Michael Marciniak. Dissertation title, Neural Network Models for Nuclear Treaty Monitoring, Enhancing the Seismic Signal Pipeline with Deep Temporal Convolution by Mr. Joshua Thaxter Dickey, advisor Dr. Brett Borghetti. Dissertation title, Agility Measurement for Large Organizations by Lieutenant Colonel Jeremy R. Geiger, advisor Dr. David Jakes. Dissertation title, Adaptive Hybrid Redundancy for Radiation Hardening by Major Nicholas Hamilton, advisor Dr. Scott Graham. Dissertation title, Operationalized Intent for Improving Coordination in Human Agent Teams by Mr. Michael F. Schneider, advisor Dr. Michael Miller. Dissertation title, Dynamic Holography in Resonant Nonlinear Media, Theory and Application by Mr. Jonathan E. Slagle, advisor Dr. Manuel Fernandez. Dissertation title, Optimal Defense of High-Value Airborne Assets by Mr. Isaac Eaton Weintraub, advisor Dr. Mir Pachter. Dissertation title, Creep Performance of Ultra-High Temperature Ceramics for Aerospace Systems at 1400 to 1600 degrees Celsius by Major Michael P. Wilkinson, advisor Dr. Marina Ruggles-Wren.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, on behalf of the Chancellor, I present to you the newest graduates of the Air Force Institute of Technology. You can take note on the screen. We're seeing the graduates at the outstations around the campus to be able to join us. Okay, I would now like to invite Colonel Retired Joe Zeese to the podium to do a special proclamation in recognition of our students.
To help us celebrate our graduation, we are privileged to have with us this evening retired Air Force Colonel Joe Zeese. Colonel Zeese was appointed by the Ohio Governor, Mike DeWine, to serve as the governor's senior advisor for aerospace and defense, a newly created cabinet-level position. Joe is a longtime friend with over 26 years of distinguished service in our Air Force. He graduated from U.S. Air Force Academy in '81, and he's an AFIT alum. He holds a master's degree in aeronautical engineering from AFIT, as well as a master's degree in national resource strategy from the Industrial College of the Armed Forces. He's a master navigator, a distinguished graduate of the Air Force Test Pilot School, and has more than 1,800 flight hours in 26 different aircraft. Joe's a certified acquisition program manager who has presided over advanced technology contracts of major aircraft systems, and in his last active duty assignment in the Air Force, he commanded the 46th Test Wing at Eglin, an Air Force base in Florida. Upon retirement from active service, Joe went on to earn a law degree from the University of Dayton. Please help me welcome back to AFIT Colonel Joe Zeese to present a message from Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. Joe.
Yeah, I hesitate to say that was 34 years ago, so this is absolutely extraordinary. Governor DeWine, of course, sends his heartiest congratulations to the graduates and their families on this very, very special evening. And in celebration of your achievements and in honor and gratitude for General Raymond and General Hecker's visit tonight, the governor has seen fit to issue a proclamation. The graduates of the Air Force Institute of Technology, on behalf of the state of Ohio, we extend our congratulations to the Air Force Institute of Technology and to the 260 airmen, guardians, and other service members who are receiving advanced academic degrees, signifying their preparation to take on the challenges and opportunities facing the United States Air and Space Forces today and tomorrow. For more than a century, this institution has educated the very pinnacle of our Air Force's best minds, advancing from piston-driven aviation to jet power to intercontinental ballistic missiles, the space race, and beyond. AFIT's rich space history includes 37 alumni who became astronauts, spanning Project Mercury, including 39 space shuttle missions and 12 missions to the International Space Station, and now SpaceX. From the nation's first astronautical engineering degree program, AFIT continues to adapt to meet the challenges of a space domain that is increasingly complex, contested, and congested. We offer our best wishes to AFIT and its leaders of tomorrow as you chart our nation's future amongst the stars. Given on this 25th day of March 2021, Mike DeWine, Governor, John Husted, Lieutenant Governor, and congratulations. There is one other letter I'd like to read, a little bit more personal, and it's addressed to Dr. Todd Stewart, Major General, U.S. Air Force, retired. Dear Dr. Stewart, on behalf of the state of Ohio, it is my distinct pleasure to congratulate you on your well-deserved retirement as Director and Chancellor of the Air Force Institute of Technology. Your military and civilian service, sir, to our nation and to the United States Air Force has been truly remarkable. After 34 years of dedicated, uniformed service in the United States Air Force, you continued to serve selflessly to our state and to our nation. As a professor at Ohio State University, you simultaneously served on the National Security Education Board and the Air Force Scientific Advisory Board. You answered the call once again as AFIT's first director and chancellor, and you have since then established a stellar example for others to follow. Ohio and our nation are indebted to you for the dedication you have demonstrated over more than 5 decades of service. And I commend you for all you have accomplished in that time. As you enter into your retirement, you can be confident in knowing that the individuals you have educated and have led over the years will continue to make great contributions to our nation. This is in no small measure due to the lifelong example of honor, of integrity, and of selfless service displayed throughout your distinguished career. Again, congratulations on your retirement. I wish you the best of luck as you enter this new chapter in life. Sincerely, Mike DeWine, Governor. Thank you, sir. I'll just put this on.
It's Air Force.
It is Air Force.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, for you.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Before we close our commencement for the evening, we have one more video from the Chief of Staff of the Air Force to help celebrate this occasion.
Hello, I'm General C.Q. Brown, Jr., the 22nd Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force. I'm honored to say a few words to all the graduates of our prestigious Air Force Institute of Technology. Airmen have always been the heart and soul behind the Air Force's success. As airmen, you're the key to our success in the future. This milestone of graduation will only further your development, bringing you one step closer to reaching your full potential. You should be proud of this degree that you've earned, but you shouldn't stop your learning. Keep expanding your knowledge and sharing what you've learned with others. I'd also like to take this time to recognize the Director and Chancellor of AFIT, Dr. Todd Stewart. Dr. Stewart has been an airman in uniform and civil service for over 34 years. And after a distinguished career, he will retire this year. Dr. Stewart, on behalf of the entire Air Force, thank you for your service and for your leadership and your inspiration to all of our airmen. I'm honored to join you today to give my personal congratulations to all of the graduates and to say thank you to all the faculty and staff for your continued mentorship and guidance. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you to those who helped this event be successful tonight. AFIT leadership, the AFIT Commencement Committee, the AFIT Foundation, the AFIT Student Association, the AFIT Spouses Association, all of our student volunteers, and the families of our students. Please rise or remain standing for the benediction. Okay, I think we've lost the chaplain. Okay, we'll go past that one for the evening. This concludes this evening's ceremony. I invite you to join us in listening to the first verse of the Air Force song and the United States Space Force March. After the songs are played, please remain in place until the stage party, faculty, and distinguished guests have departed. Then you will be dismissed by your ushers. Thank you. All right, before everybody gets away, graduation! Push it up!